Technology works. Oh my goodness. I'm just like watching the comment thing pop up. This is amazing. Maybe we're live? I don't know. Hey! Technology works. There we go. It's working. Oh my goodness. I know. This is so exciting. This is the first live stream of 2021. I mean,
yes.
It's one of those like we're back.
Yeah, it's been a little break, but
I didn't realize how long it had been. I went on the Instagram story just to say hi and check in. I'm going, oh my goodness, we haven't done one since November, because then it was 12 days of cozies and the end of the month, and so oh my gosh,
it's just
it's time to check cozies. Oh my gosh, these like all the comments are coming up. This is making me so happy. Summer and Colleen. Oh my gosh, Jill, you guys, this is so cute. I love seeing all the comments pop up. I'm gonna cry. 32 people who want to celebrate cozies with us. Oh my goodness, everyone's so happy and excited to be here. This is just, oh, this is amazing. Hi everybody. For those of you who don't know, this is Ben, and I adore him so much. If you guys saw, he was one of my previous guest hosts. I love him, so I had to have him back. When he filled out the Google application, he was literally the first name that popped up, and I was like, it was meant to be. And so if you guys haven't watched him in a live stream or been on his Instagram or his Twitter, you need to, and you're going to see exactly why I adore him tonight. So welcome, Ben.
Now I'm all blushing. You're so kind.
Well, it's well-deserved praise. You know, there's no exaggerating. Like, he really is a sweetheart, and I'm so happy to be chatting with you. You really do just make me smile. Like, you have just such a genuine sweetness to you.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm like speechless now, so I don't know.
And I'm going to preemptively apologize on behalf of my 5-pound teacup Maltese, who is now officially walking around my kitchen table for no reason. So if he starts to bark, it might happen. So
that just means he wants to join in. So
yes, he wants to celebrate with us. Well, I mean, because we have a cat in tonight's book choice, so I guess he just has to represent the dogs, apparently.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, this is so exciting to see the comments. It's really hard to keep up because they keep moving up. Oh yes, this is so cute. I'm so happy you guys are here. And I mean, from what I can tell, everyone seems to be loving the January book, Killer Chardonnay. Also, today is it's the book birthday for the second book in the series, and everyone who comments tonight, every comment counts as a giveaway entry, and one lucky book club member who's joining us and commenting is going to win the second book signed by Kate on the day it's published, which is so cool, and I'm so jealous.
I'm super jealous too. I'm super
I mean, I'm in the camp who's just like in love with this book. So I mean, that's gonna be the first question. You know, if you guys enjoyed the book, you were one of the people who actually recommended the book. You were one of the was going, hey, this book sounds great. Let's add this to the poll. And when it won, you had one of those tweets where it was like, I was so excited to see it. So you were, again, perfect guest host for tonight. So what did you think?
I loved it. What is not to love? I mean, there's wine, there's cats, there's a love triangle, it's like a whole everything. I
mean, so I always do this. I always get a notepad or a notebook. And so for some reason, I went with the sloth one this time. And it's not a full notebook because I had ripped out pages before, but like I literally filled up this thing. Like,
there are pages in there.
This is so like, again, I actually had to start using different colors to differentiate thoughts. I was really invested in this book. It's so hard for me to like figure out where to start. I was mentioning this off camera because I was so blown away with the details. I was so impressed. And so I actually read this probably at the beginning of the month, and then he actually caught me listening to the audio again today. The audio was playing when he joined the one. When he came in, I was going, okay, you caught me with that one. So I listened to it again, and so I also read it again. And so technically, if we count the audio, this is my third time with this book. Every time I noticed something, and I was even more impressed. Like, it just kept upping the ante every time. And that was really impressive, and that's hard to do. So I'm in the 5-star camp. What about you?
I think I'm like 4.5, almost 5. Like, almost there. Like, I think if...
I mean, I will admit, like, I do have some unanswered questions. So, but like, in regards to the details, which is why I'm like, this is amazing. So...
But yeah, let's just round up. We round up to 5, so it's pretty solid. It's entertaining. For me, I'm in the camp that always I never figure out the killer ever, so I'm always surprised and shocked. So I was like gasping. I'm sure my neighbors heard me like gasping and like freaking out as I'm.
So this was my thing, right? So I figured out who the killer was. And so I actually was writing down the adjectives, and I actually went into, so again, I'm the person, this is where I'm at now. So officially I have the paperback, I have the ebook, and he heard me listening to the audio, which I used one of my Amazon credits to buy. So I took a screenshot with the ebook over here as I'm pulling it up, and she goes, our heroine Parker, you know, she's our leading lady here. She's the one who's opening her winery, and I'm not going to tell you the character's name because we'll get into spoilers in a minute, but she's referring to our murderer here. So I consider, fill in the blank because I'm not going to tell you the name, a fresh and polished exterior. She's a polite demeanor and youthful innocence. She's smart. She would have to manage her course load. And obviously she's been sheltered. And I'm listening to her descriptions and I'm taking screenshots and I'm going, this does not sound like a criminal mastermind. You're calling her smart, polished. At one point she mentions how she believes this character was doing yoga because she has this calm energy that she probably meditates. And I'm going, wait a second, I'm pretty sure this is the killer, but you love her. You're giving her all these compliments.
Cherub was also thrown around there too.
I was so confused because usually there's a sort of, you know, off vibe with killers where you're kind of looking at them suspiciously, or you don't like that character and you're rooting against them, like, oh, please be the bad guy. I want you to like get out of the series. I'm done with you. But Parker loves this character. She's so complimentary. She's going, I'm going to give this person a raise. I'm going to be doing this. I mean, she was all for this character. So that made it really hard to be like 100%, 10 out of 10 sure that it was this character who's the killer. At least for me, I'm reading, I'm going, I'm pretty sure it's this person. And then, she's so great at her job. She's this. And then I'm going, oh, dang it. So.
Yeah, I did not see that coming. So, yeah.
Okay, so as the comments, I'm trying to see. So apparently you're not the only person who doesn't guess. Oh, I'm glad you guys like The Notebook. I really went for it this time. I'm trying to be better about writing book reviews, so I'm going to write these all up for you and put them on the website and my Goodreads page. Oh, yes, I am intense. So some people guessed, some people didn't know. So you were off base and you didn't figure out until the end. Yeah, it was harder to figure it out because of the adjectives and the descriptions. I mean, again, I'm going to give that credit as the writing.
It's totally the writing, yeah.
So, I mean, I also think this is probably the first cozy mystery I've read that was located in Boulder. I don't know if anyone else has read a cozy set in there. This was the first one. I mean, I've come across Martha's Vineyard and like other references to vineyards, but never one about a winery like this. So this was definitely like a first cozy in a couple different ways. So
that, and I feel like social media played a huge part too. I mean, it was always there, and I feel like not many cozies have that either, which was a kind of like a fresh kind of introduction too. So
I actually started writing notes in the back. Again, I'm like, which page do I go to? Because there's just so many notes. Because I went on to Goodreads, and there weren't that many reviews or write-ups with people in regards to spelling out their thoughts. A lot of people just posted their stars for this one on Goodreads, and that was it. But some people referenced that this came across as a very modern cozy. Someone in their Goodreads comment said something along the lines of, it was written for a younger demographic and millennials, which was different. I'm going, yeah, that's true. Yeah. And I have to agree. It was written in the present tense. It was, here we are, this is happening in the moment. And so again, that was really different. So another reason why I'm kind of giving this cozy a little bit more, up, giving a little bit more credit.
Yeah.
It was different, but in a good way.
Yeah. I did feel like it was a little bit younger too, which I kind of liked. I mean, I like my older like cozies, but this was a nice like kind of fresher, modern cozy as a sense. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, we know that I'm always talking about Hannah Swenson. Hannah's my girl, and so when we did the reread of the first book in the series, I didn't realize how long ago that book had been published. And I also love Murder, She Wrote. And there's an episode which I just watched because, again, Peacock TV, you have access to all the Murder, She Wrote episodes. If you didn't know that, you can go check that out. I highly recommend it. And so there's an episode where they're talking about computers, not laptops, but computers. She's going, so I can send an email to my publisher in New York from Cabot Cove. And she's so excited. And they were using they had to use the telephone line to get internet access. And that was the big clue for the episode and how you figured out who the killer was. And I'm going, oh, this did not age well. So, this one, again, in the moment, it was great.
Yeah.
I mean, when the floppy disk is the big thing, you're kind of going, oh, it's a USB drive now. Thank you.
Oh.
But no, I mean, again, it's hard to figure out where to start with this because there's, again, a lot to this one and so many details to choose from. I mean, I also got to say, I like the fact that the murder happened very quickly. So you're kind of invested very quickly. So. Oh, a shame. I just see the first comment that pops up is shameless murder show. Of course. Jessica Fletcher. You can
gotta plug it in there.
Well, I didn't know that it was free. I mean, you can just watch. It's literally a free account, so you can watch all the Murder, She Wrote episodes for free. And I'd been binging Amazon Prime seasons 1 through 5, and then it was just rewatch.
And now a whole new world is just open up.
Yeah. Then I could watch up to season 12. It was great. So we got to. I mean, do you want to just start talking about Parker? I mean, our leading lady.
Let's talk about Parker. Let's talk about her.
What did you think?
I loved her as a leading character. She's driven. She has big dreams, which I'm like, yeah, like you can't help but like root for her, like want her to succeed. So it's this winery is her big baby, and it's like, you want it to work out for her. So
I mean, I gotta give her credit. I think one of the reasons why I liked her as a character so much is sometimes authors make their characters too perfect if they're the sleuther, or they're not relatable, but I definitely could understand her perspective. And I like the fact that she was very grounded and practical in regards to the business. She's looking up the numbers. She's paying attention to how much. I think there was one book one time when I'm going, I don't know how this place stays in business. Like, I literally had no idea. I'm like, does this bakery make money? Does anyone, I remember there had never been a customer mention, and I was going, what? So I like the fact that this was relatable and had that realism to it. So I do have a question. This is me asking you because you mentioned about wine a little bit. So do they usually serve food? Because they were just serving wine at her place. They had the palate cleansing crackers. But I didn't see any reference to sodas or, anything else, I don't know. I was going to say muffins or scones. Like, there was nothing else mentioned. So do they usually do that?
They usually just have wine. I mean, some places will have like little appetizer snacks, like to eat like with the wine, like some like olives or cheeses or crackers, that sort of thing. But usually, yeah, they don't want anything to like tarnish the flavor. So that's why they have those palate cleansing crackers, and then it's usually little sips. Like, I feel like she was pouring a lot, which, I mean, usually if you're doing tasting, you just have like a little bit, like you're not going to be gulping like a full glass. Like, but.
Oh my gosh. I'm seeing the comments pop up. Yeah. She was a rock climber, which was, again, very different. I don't think I've actually come across, I'm actually trying to remember if there's any literary character who's going, I'm going rock climbing as my extracurricular activity. That was different too. So yeah, she was active. Yeah, I feel like those gifts that you posted earlier. That's how I picture just like bouncing around. Like, I mean, because I mean, some authors will be like, I'm looking in the mirror, telling you everything about my appearance, and we didn't. And again, I appreciate that we didn't get that, but we didn't really know her physical description too much in regards to. We knew she was. For some reason, this stuck out because I'm also 5'4". I was like, hey, 5'4" friend. So we get a little bit of her physical description, but she's going up the rock climbing wall, and I mean, that's not easy.
No, I'm trying to think, like the last cozy I read, there were like jogging or something. Like, mostly it's a librarian, like their relaxed life. Like, it's not super active.
Yeah, I know. I mean, most of them are writers sitting at their computers. They're relaxing, reading their books. I mean, this one, she was very active. She's always running around, and she doesn't even have a car, so she's always doing public transportation.
which I love. I'm like, hey, way to go. Like, use it.
I mean, I relate to that. I don't have a car in the city. So when she said she had to take an Uber, I'm going, I understand. I also love the fact that this poor Uber driver, this was his first night as an Uber driver, and he's driving her around, and she's like, I think I convinced him to quit. So that was the little side note.
Like, never again. I'm not doing Uber anymore.
I mean, actually, this is like a total tangent moment, but like, I want to know how much he made that night driving her around, because this guy drives her to the campus. She tells him to wait for $20. She's like, if I give you $20, will you hang out and wait? And of course, the meter's going in addition to the $20. Yeah. And then he drives her to go pick up her brother at a bar. And then she says, can you wait again for another $20? And then he drives her. And then at some point, I think Reed then took the Uber. Yeah. So that guy must have made a pretty penny off of her.
I mean, he got $40 extra on top of tip, on top of all that A to B to C to D. Like, it's...
I mean, I'm just throwing that out there. I was just curious about that one. I mean, as soon as, that was his first night, but as soon as she's like $20 and then another 20, and then he was actually still driving. I mean, maybe he should just stay in the game. Yeah. So talking about going back to what we were talking about before, the physical descriptions. Yeah. I mean, I also like the fact that she had bangs. I mean, sometimes and this is just me saying this because I read a lot. Some of the time when they have bangs in stories, the character's like, oh, it makes me look young. It makes me look like this. She's just mentioned she just brushes her bangs out of her face. There's no description of, oh, this or that. So they were just a part of her appearance, and that was it. And I'm going, thank you so much, because I have side bangs, so I appreciate that. But I'm kind of curious what you guys want to talk about, because again, I have all the notes, but I mean, I'm just going to mention that I really like the fact that it was grounded with Colorado and Boulder, naming the wines after places. And she mentions going to the university, and they go to the local shops and stuff. I mean, I just thought it was very well situated in the area, because sometimes you're going, this little town could be picked up and put down anywhere on a map. Like, you could be like, okay, this is just, if there's no landing description, you're like, okay, this could be in the middle, over here, over there. So I just really like the fact that you knew exactly where this was taking place. So just want to throw it out there.
It's grounded. It sounds like Colorado. I haven't been to Colorado, but it sounds like, I guess, what my take of Colorado is. So it's very, you're local, and like with the wine, with the beers that I mentioned too. So yeah.
So again, this is why I think this woman is now going to be one of my autobi authors. Like, so you can tell she knew what she was writing about. You can tell she knew the area. You can tell she knows about wine, but just like a random little thing will be tossed in there detail wise. There was a guy running with ankle weights, and Parker makes this little mental sarcastic note because, running at altitude isn't hard enough. Like, just that random throwaway joke. I'm going, I'm here for this. So just stuff like that makes me happy. I mean, I also, talking about Parker, I feel as if you have to kind of give her credit for her just family dynamic and being a friendship. And I think that plays into her character too. I mean, she was really a sweet sister with Liam. I just want to throw it out there.
She was really sweet sister. Like, her whole even debating, like, dating his friends. Like, I'm like, yeah, like, sometimes a tricky situation, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, again, I've read a lot of romance novels, like, brother's best friend, sister's best friend, like, that's a trope. Like, that's a thing. So to me, I'm a little like less, sensitized to that when I'm going, yeah, of course. Like, if they're always around, eventually you're gonna find one that you like. But I felt badly that Liam kept throwing it in her face. He was holding a grudge. He really was. He wasn't getting over that. I mean, and then he brings to her big wine opening, where the dead body occurs, because naturally you're going to have an opening and a murder happens. He brings his friend Reed, and he's going, I never would have brought him if I knew you were going to like him. And I'm going, oh my goodness.
Did he just not even look at his friend Reed, like the eye candy that and not be like, maybe?
I mean, so this is the first time she meets Reed, and then in the same day she ends up getting reacquainted with Eli. So I mean, she kind of meets them both in the same day. But then the relationships definitely go different ways. So which team are you falling on?
I'm team Eli, like, all the way. I don't know.
Me too. I'm team Eli. I posted this love triangle question. So on Instagram, it was 7-7. So 7 people were for Reed and 7 people were for Eli. And then over on Twitter, Eli won by 78%.
Way to go, Twitter. Way to go.
I mean, I got to admit though, I was surprised that too. I obviously haven't read it yet, but celebrating the book that's going to be given tonight, I pulled up the Goodreads bio. Well, she ends up with, at the end of this book, Reed and boyfriend and girlfriend at the start of the next book, and I'm still Team Eli. I'm holding out.
It's okay. It's okay.
I mean, I'm curious to see where this goes, but I mean, I think it's going to be difficult now that she's in a relationship with Reed, so I don't really want to get invested in a relationship just to have it end. Just saying.
You never know. There's hopefully more. And
oh, Reed's personality wore on you. Ooh. I mean, so I think one of my giant notes was like if it was love or lust, because we very much got his physical description consistently.
Yeah.
we really know the color of his hair and the copper tones when it was dark and when it was light out.
His biceps and we know everything.
I mean, I also, again, I thought the writing was great. A hunk of deliciousness was actually a direct quote.
I'm going to use that now. That's a great description.
I mean, this guy just totally took her breath away. So, I mean, we know he's definitely good looking, but I don't know if it was because Liam, and again, this is one of those, is he biased? Is he, trying to sway her away? He's like, this guy goes through women, he's a player. And so I don't know if this is, again, trying to keep the sister and friend separate or if he's trying to protect her from heartbreak. So
it could be a little bit of both, I think so. Like he wants to be brotherly and protect her, but also kind of dissuade her, like not to even start anything. But
I mean, the other thing that I kind of thought was odd, and this is at the beginning of the book. So we have the food blogger come the day of the opening. He's poisoned and dies, and then Reed doesn't even react. He's still drinking his wine at the bar, like nothing has changed.
Is it just me, or was everyone just kind of relaxing, still having wine? No one knew that there was a dead body in the bathroom.
I mean, she didn't tell people at first. Also, nobody noticed that she looked like she was freaking out or hyperventilating. It wasn't until the cop cars arrived. But even when the detective, Eli's there asking questions, he's still at the bar drinking, like with his little glass of wine.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, that's the whole scene.
I just saw the word truffles, and I was so much team Reed. I got to admit, it was cute that he came with a little picnic for her.
Yeah,
I have to admit that was kind of adorable. I mean, I also have one of my things written down. So he only had a single glass of wine at her opening and the tasting before he offered to go in business with her. Did anyone else notice that?
And he wanted to buy it wholesale too. That's what gutted me. That's what gutted me. I was like, she wants to make her money, like wholesale.
I was kind of curious, don't you want to try the other ones before you offer this contract? So I wasn't sure if he just really liked her or he liked her wine.
Could be both.
I mean, I also want to throw out the fact that she wasn't taking him off the murder suspect list, and this person used poison, and she has multiple meals with him. The poison was in the drink.
She was thinking the whole time too while she was eating. She's like, well, he ate it too, so I guess it's not poison.
She's like, whoa. I mean, I'm just saying, person used poison, you're eating a meal with them. She also went to the campus alone to meet with somebody. So as a sleuth goes, she was taking some risks.
Yeah, even though that guy was in the car, the Uber was in the car waiting for her. I mean, she was, yeah. It's dark at night. So much could have happened.
I love how I look down at my notes and I'm like, he made innuendos to her. Like, I will make you breakfast. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
I mean, he really did get away with a lot in this book. I'm just going to say that. The wine was just that good. Yeah, she's just that good. Probably her. The wine just that was. Yeah, whatever happened to the daisies in the vase that Gaskell spit out? That's a good question. Whatever happened to the vase?
I was wondering about that too. I'm like, she could have been like, hey, he spit in this vase right here.
That's a really good question. That's a really good point, because wouldn't that have had the poison in it?
It would have, yeah.
Where did that? That's an awesome question. I didn't even notice that on my 3 rereads over there. I mean, yeah. Oh, this was the page with the description of the killer. Oh yes, we're also talking about the dimples and the hair is like a halo. Natural descriptions of the killer. But we definitely had a lot of people on the suspect list. So we had the characters Moira and Carrick. They owned the other winery. We have Jason, who is her best friend's boyfriend, who we will definitely have to talk about. We have Max, who is at the wine tasting, this college kid who is a theater person. Again, I love how everyone has their own distinct backgrounds. Just thrown in the writing element of that. That's amazing. Reed, the handsome cook with the truffles. We have Gaskell's sister, which again, when the family's involved, that's saying something. Yeah. And then any other potential people who had negative reviews. That is a list.
Like all of Colorado is pretty much.
I mean, that is a list. And the poor guy didn't actually really do anything that bad. I mean, poor Max, he never had a chance. No, he didn't.
Yeah, no.
Cozy sleuths don't have good judgment sometimes. And then Joel's saying he had a good point. All of his points are good. Like, I don't even know which one you're referring to, but like, he's just always fun. But I'm really curious now about the vase. That just totally caught my attention. It reminds me of one of the movies where someone said something like, you know, in one of the comments of, if you acknowledge that DNA was an option, this movie never would have been made. And I'm like, yeah, because DNA was left at the scene, like literally, yeah, never mind. Total tangent. But Jason, I feel as if we gotta address Jason.
Let's do it.
I mean, so Jason is the boyfriend of Sage, who is absolutely adorable. I would be I'm really good friends with her too.
Yep, same.
So cute. She goes to her best friend's opening and she's chatting up the wine, and you know, she works really hard at her job, and she's so adorable trying to get her little nerd, you know, things in, wearing the necklace for Deathly Hallows, her little lightsaber, you know, hairpin in. And then she's with Jason.
Boring. I feel dull. Jason.
Who's on a Frisbee team.
Which, I mean, good for him. He's doing something. So it's...
I mean, the Frisbee team's not the issue. It's the fact that he's like the oldest guy on the Frisbee team for undergrads. Yeah,
that's a little awkward. Like, because he's, I mean, I don't feel 30 is old because I'm 30, but 30 plus. But it's definitely with younger college age kid. Yeah, you feel old.
I mean, that's not the play your Frisbee team. Like, have at it. Join one of those meetup.com things and form your group. I mean, maybe it's because I'm reading my PhD, and when I would be on campus, and I would notice the undergrads, I would feel so disconnected. Because when I was an undergrad, I think everyone's we're all students, we're all the same. And then once you're there, you're like, no, this is different. And so that's kind of how I picture it in a way, not that it's a bad thing that he wants to do Frisbee or wear his puka necklace. He just doesn't, he just isn't growing up. And she is. Yeah. They were together forever. That was one of my questions that we were talking about off camera, I'm pretty sure. So Sage was dating Jason. They started dating in high school, and then they're now in their 30s. So they've been together for at least 11, 12 years. And in all that time, Parker never told her what she thought of Jason.
Oh, I think I said before, I was like, I would have said something if that... at least early on, you try to supportive, you're like, oh yeah, date that person. But I feel like if you kind of felt the same way the whole time, you would have said something,
Yeah. I'm looking down at the comments. The cheesecake proposal.
She hates cheesecake too. How would you date someone for 10 plus years and not even know that? And he knew that, but he didn't care. That's what
makes it worse. That's what somehow makes it even worse. It'd be one thing if you just forgot because you're so excited you're going to propose and you're looking for something that looks delicious or looks grand or whatever, and you lose your head for a minute. But he deliberately just didn't care.
Yeah, he was all whatever. She liked it.
I mean,
and you're
Okay.
asking her best friend. So like I feel like with the ring selection too, like if you're asking her best friend and like you already kind of have your mind made up, it's like
So I was saying this off camera because I'm not a Jason fan. If you guys like him, I'm sorry, but like I'm just not a fan of this guy. So I was really confused where those 2 rings came from. So he has 2 rings that he's bringing to Parker to have her look at to help him choose between to propose to Sage. So I'm thinking these rings have some sort of symbolism, like one is from each grandmother, you know, one's for just something. But we never figure out where those 2 rings came from. And neither of them are her. Neither of them look like her. Neither of them speak to her style. So this guy, he just does not get Sage.
which I love that you're taking like it's might be a grandparent's like ring or family ring, because that's super cute. Like that's really cute. Like that changes the whole situation. But yeah, you don't know. So you don't know if these are just 2 that he saw. He's like, yeah, maybe like this will work.
I mean, part of me was kind of wondering, thinking maybe he was going to get redeemed at some point, you know, with the 2 rings being a family thing, or, you know, with him going to campus, like, oh, maybe he's taking night classes instead of doing this, but he didn't want to tell her in case he fails. Like, I'm having all these stories play out in my head, but he's just not worth it, apparently. Like,
that's what we love. That's why we love you, because you're rooting for him, even though I'm like the first like paragraph I was all, no, we're done. Like
I'm thinking like, oh, maybe we can like come back around. You know, maybe he's not actually on a Frisbee team. Maybe he's actually taking night classes, and you know, he's scared that he's not going to succeed. You know, I'm maybe this is like my optimism shining through, like wanting to see the best in everybody. But like, it took me. I don't even know how long is this book. Like, I don't know what point she breaks up with him, but like I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt for like way too long. But they lost me with the cheesecake. that was where Jason lost me, with the cheesecake.
I hope it was like on top of it and not inside of it, because I love cheesecake, so I would have like scarfed that down and like broken a tooth or something on it. I don't know.
I mean, I'm always curious about people putting rings in food. Like, what is to prevent someone from accidentally swallowing it? Like, that is actually a concern of mine.
That is a very big concern. I guess maybe
yeah.
Maybe his like googly eyes, like all excited, like watching. Maybe she's like, "Ooh, something's here." But if it's like hidden inside the whipped cream, I will probably just eat it. Like,
yeah, I mean, I'm kind of remembering, like, yeah, what is just even when they put a champagne glass or something, like, what's to prevent someone from just like knocking it back?
Yeah, if you're not paying attention, you're like, "Thanks, yeah, cheers," and then yeah.
I mean, it's kind of cute that he wanted to do a picnic, but the cheesecake is where it fell off. No, sorry, Jason. Because then we find out that the brother Liam likes Sage, and he's liked her for a very long time.
Yeah. I
have a question. How come our sleuth never noticed her brother was in love with her best friend? She never noticed this.
She's bad at.
I mean, we got her. She's looking highly at the murderer. She thinks the murderer is a little angel of a cherub who meditates, and then she's looking at the brother, not realizing he's in love with the best friend. So, I mean, she's working on it, I guess. You know, the observation skills. You know, maybe in book 2 she'll be sleuthing, be like, I noticed this ASAP. But yeah, he's in love with her.
He's in love. Yeah, he's in love with her. I mean, she was dating Guy at the time. Yeah, Guy. But I mean, how could she not see her brother all attentive and like hanging on every word that Sage is saying?
So one of my notes was I wrote down Peter Pan syndrome, and this is how I differentiate the 2. So we have Jason, who's just in Peter Pan syndrome, but Liam is trying to actually get out of it, where he's trying different things, trying to find his passion. He's working on himself. So even if the 2 guys have, this whole issue of growing up, at least Liam is trying. He's trying to make things better and trying to propel things forward. So, I mean, when you kind of look at them side by side, I mean, Liam's also a good brother. He cares about Sage. And this was my note that I noticed on the reread. I was so pumped when I noticed this. So Liam is wearing the Millennial Falcon t-shirt when he goes out to the bar where he gets plastered because Sage is getting engaged. And then when she's at her engagement party, she's wearing the lightsabers for Star Wars. I'm going, oh my gosh, they're both Star Wars. Like, they both love Star Wars. It's meant to be. I was like, I don't know if that was planned or if that was just like a random reference. But I was going, oh my gosh, they both love Star Wars. Please.
Yeah, those are cute little touches. Those little touches that you pick up when you reread. Like, so cute.
I noticed that the first time, and as soon as I saw that as soon as I saw that mention when she had the hair tied up with the chopsticks that were lightsabers, I'm going, oh my gosh! I just was like head over heels, going, you need to be with Liam in the worst way.
Just forget Jason.
Okay, so see, because I didn't notice it the first time at all. That went right over my head, and the other thing that went right over my head, we'll get back to Liam in a second, but the dog being named William Wallace. So I named Max is named after Maximus and Gladiator. So like, I'm not against naming dogs or animals after movies, but the joke that went over my head was his name is Reed Wallace. His last name's Wallace. He named the cat William Wallace. That was the joke. I didn't realize the joke was his last name was Wallace. Therefore, William Wallace was not just a movie reference. It was him including the last name.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did anyone else notice that the first time? Because I didn't.
I did. This is skipping my head. Yes.
I mean, because I didn't notice that the first time. So when I went back, and because his last name was referenced at one point, and that was when it was on the reread. I'm like, wait a second, his last name is Willis. Hold up. And then I'm flipping. I'm going like, wait a second. I understand now. So I don't know if anyone caught that. You know, Braveheart, Mel Gibson. It's a good movie, but I didn't notice that the first time either. So this book with the details, I mean, I don't know how she edited it, wrote it, but like amazing.
Amazing.
Okay, thank you. So nobody else noticed that the first time. I just thought, the name was William, and that's why when he paused during the conversation, she's like, okay, like good, yeah. William. I get it now. So anyway, Liam. What did you think of Liam? What did you?
He's a great brother. I mean, yeah, he's a great brother. He's there for his sister. I mean, I feel like their family with the parents kind of choosing the work kind of over the kids kind of messed them up a little bit, but seeing them as adults now, you're like, they turn out good. Like they're working through their stuff.
I mean, I have to admit, I thought he was really cute I mean, again, yes, he's trying to be a photographer and take photos, but, he's like, oh, you can use them for your website. I'm trying to take pictures, to angle them. He's being supportive. He went to the opening. He brought a friend. Again, he didn't realize the love interest, so maybe brought a different friend maybe, but like, he's trying to be supportive. I'm going, okay, like this is sweet.
Yeah, and you see, her parents aren't there because that's mentioned right there in the beginning too. Like, you're like, oh, like, at least her brother's there,
I mean, what did we think of the parents not going to the opening? Because
I was kind of like, if my parents didn't go to a big opening of mine, I would be sad. But I mean, you learn later on, like what her dad tells her. So I'm like, oh, okay, like that means a lot. They came the next day, but then they also said we didn't want to, like have your friends there. We don't want to like be like, downers. But I'm like, oh,
yeah. I mean, they sent her flowers for the opening day. She came home to this beautiful bouquet, and I wasn't sure what to make of that relationship because I could kind of see both sides. The parents are thinking she's trying to, live her life. They don't want to be the buzzkill. His word literally was buzzkill. I wrote that down to my notes. And so, I mean, they actually thought about it before not attending. So it wasn't like they just blew it off. But at the same time, it's still a little sad that they missed out. So it's interesting. But again, I kind of give that credit of, oh, it's not, black or white. This is a gray matter. So
yeah. I mean, I feel like it's working with the whole the family. Like, I feel that they're better as a family at the end. So it makes me happy too. Like they're talking about it, not just kind of,
I'm like, I'm seeing the comments. So Miss Richards Reeds was so mad at her parents. Jackie, you thought that was rotten. And then it did. Okay, so this is true too. Renee, this was in my notes. Parker said she got the free education, but the very next sentence they gave her nothing. I wrote that down too because I'm going, if you get a free undergraduate degree, I'm like that. You got something financially. Yeah, you did. I'm like, she had a comment about working for room and board. I'm going, room and board versus the full tuition bill. Very different. Very different. The free education thing, that kind of got me too. And then you wanted to know more about the origins. You want to open the business? That's cute. Yeah, you can't imagine not going. Yeah, I mean, I also thought it was kind of interesting, or at least noteworthy. I wasn't sure what to make of it, and actually, they were willing to help her financially if she needed the money for her winery, but yet Parker didn't ask. So she didn't know to ask, and then they were waiting to ask. So there was definitely disconnect between what she's thinking, what the parents are thinking. So I don't know what to do with that per se, because they were willing, but yet she's, she doesn't want to ask them for help. So should they have offered? Is it their responsibility to offer? I mean, how does this play out?
It's a definitely like a gray matter. It's like, like it communication. So like they should have been like, hey, if you need any money, like just let us know. But then, she didn't think about asking because maybe she's proud. So she didn't want to ask. But I mean, you can't also expect them to offer the money if that too. Like,
I mean, I have to admit, part of the reason why I was so curious about this was the fact that Liam is the older brother. And usually it's the reverse. Usually the baby of the family gets coddled. That wasn't what happened here. It was the older brother he was even investing at one point. So, I mean, he had the podcast. So I'm assuming he bought the microphone and the software to edit and everything else. Now he's doing photography and he has a black room. Like, his ventures are not, hey, let's go to the dollar store. Like, that's not what he's doing.
He's fully investing in every hobby, which is awesome. But also, like, if you just kind of move to the next one, it's like it's a lot to invest.
I have to admit, though, I was really cute how after his camera gets destroyed, Parker wants to invest in her brother and show him that she supports him. I think their relationship is probably like the cutest in regards to the familial elements. Her and her brother are just adorable. Even if he does hold a grudge.
They make me happy. It's really sweet what she does.
It was an improvement. Instead of the mother telling her to constantly lose weight or get married. The get married is a reoccurring cozy theme of we're gonna set you up with this person, or I have this person has a son. That happened. I actually, now that you say that and brought this to my attention, she didn't actually mention her in a relationship at all.
No.
I think I actually might like her parents a little bit more now. That's actually a really excellent point. I like that one. Okay, so I also want to say her aunt is adorable, and this lady's not even a character, but I love her. Even if everything we get is secondhand, stories or acknowledgments, I'm going, I love you, like you're an amazing person. Can you get a side story of a story?
I want a prequel with the aunt.
Yeah. She was so cute. She's supporting her. She gave her money. The way they said, like, she would go with the foam finger support, I'm going, the descriptions of her were so cute.
Yeah. And it's what they needed because, like their parents were always busy. So their aunt was kind of like the mom kind of a little bit. But
yeah, she was just had that. I love how it reminds me of Rebecca, where it's like you hear the name and you know about the character, but you don't actually see the character. That's what I felt like this was. We have all these descriptions of her, so we feel like we know her without actually knowing her, because everyone's so sweet about her. Aw, you thought buying her buying the camera, that it was a turning point. Yeah, that was. Oh, flashback. Yes, can we do that? If whoever's reading the second book. Oh, also, I'm convinced this is a tangent, digression, sort of. I don't know, but I think Carrick is going to have his own book about his own past. Coming back to.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of my realizations upon the second reading. We find out the other winery, the owners, Carrick has a past. So I can totally see his past coming back at him, and like him ending up in jail and her wanting to help because they were nicer. Like, I can see that being a future story in the series. So I'm making a prediction. Just throwing that
you heard it here first, guys. Just so you know.
I'm throwing that out there. Like, that seemed to me like a setup of, having that vague reference to him having a past.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Can we talk about Moira right now?
Oh, yes, please. Yes.
Oh. Where do I start? I love her. I mean, Also, you pointed out too with the Moira from Schitt's Creek. So I mean, I know it's not the same description of her, but I just kind of pictured Moira as Moira. So
the number of times I've rewatched Schitt's Creek is amazing. I love that show so much. I love that show. I really do. If you guys haven't seen Schitt's Creek, like please watch it. It is amazing. Mm. I mean, because again, I don't drink. I've never had wine. So there's an episode where Moira is trying fruit wine, which I mean, that's a whole separate thing. But you know, she's at the vineyard, and I was thinking of that for this. So I actually am kind of curious if that was where the name came from in connection with, like, if maybe that was the inspiration.
I hope so. I can only hope so.
But this woman, she's so cute. I mean, I think I probably have 2 or 3 pages of notes for her because, and I'm not going to read them all to you, obviously. But I just thought it was so sweet the way she was trying to be so supportive. I mean, this woman literally hands over a list of VIPs to Parker to help her with her winery. Nobody does that. Like, no, I mean, seriously, this is a woman who could be competition, and she just genuinely wants her to succeed. I mean, I know she's a fictional character, but I just want to like hug her. She
could have easily, after that disastrous first day, been like, let's cut our ties here, never go back. But she comes back and like offers some business. I mean, they're business rivals, kind of. So I mean, would you want your, like, you know, patrons to go there? But she's trying to help out because she's generally that kind of nice person. So it's.
I mean, I'm seeing the comments pop up. Baby.
Baby.
There was a thing on Etsy where, you know, it was, you know, Santa baby, and she's wearing a little Christmas hat.
I have that shirt. I have that shirt.
You do? Yes. I saw it as a sticker, and I was like, I wanted to get it, and I think it was sold out by the time I actually I was going to place the order. Oh, it was so sad. But yeah,
it's baby. It's cold outside, is what it says.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to talk about Schitt's Creek eventually at some point because that show is just amazing. So it took you a little while. I think that was part of it. Like, you're not sure if she's genuine. So in the moment you're going, okay, is this you being manipulative? What is this? But it's not till you realize she's not the killer, in which case she is genuine. So yeah, again, first read, I'm looking at her with that, you know, that I was going to say, you know, that GIF where the lady's got her little magnifying glass looking through? That's what I felt like. I was like, I'm looking at you. Like, what do I do with you? So it wasn't until rereading when I'm going, oh my gosh, she goes back to apologize. She had bought a bottle of wine at the opening. I'm going, this woman is actually really thoughtful.
Yeah, because you had that question, is she sabotaging? Did she throw that glass of wine on purpose? You know, like, you're wondering.
Yeah. See, Shannon's saying she thought she was shady. She was on your list. She thought it was something fake. Yeah, I kept waiting to see her. You know, I mean, again, I figured out who the killer was because the comment about, oh, so and so's girlfriend. I figured that out. I mean, obviously, she's not dating, undergraduate. I don't know how old she was. She's not dating.
She's not. No. I mean, her husband's very attractive too. So I mean, good for her. Like,
with the little French accent.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't. Yes. See, apparently Max is also Green Carrick's handsome man. Yeah. Like, you're reading her doing all these things, and you're going, are you setting her up for something? Like, did you specifically hand the poison? I mean, where did this come from? I mean, I thought it was so cute though. I started realizing how generous she was, even to me, just buying the bottle of wine and going back to apologize, actually taking time out of your day to go back and say, I'm sorry for making disturbance. And then she even told the contacts that she was going to be sending them, saying like, hey, I'm going to be sending your information to someone, be on the lookout. And then I realized that she actually gave them the tasting for free when Parker brought Sage with her to the winery. It was on the house, and I'm going, this woman is just the cutest thing in the world.
So nice. Like, and multiple times she's like, don't listen to the reviews. Like, it's not the end of the world. Like, just those comments, I'm like, oh, like, she genuinely is trying to help out, which makes me so happy.
And then I even wrote down, again, this was upon like the second reread where I'm going, okay, this you can write. She remembered Parker's favorite drink was the red Merlot or the wine.
Yes.
she remembered which drink she liked, and she brought it over and even said that. Like, talk about thoughtful.
Yeah.
I'm like, can we be friends?
Oh.
Oh, what's going on? Someone has a prediction. Oh. I'm seeing comments. Takes and strays. Yes. So Carrick was a stray. Like, they think, I mean, I also think, I was going to say, I don't know if he deserves her. Like, I don't even know how to phrase it. Here's this woman who's like so generous and kind. And like, there's a moment, I went back with the notes where he's looking at Parker with like an evil eye, but I wasn't sure if it was an evil eye because she's eavesdropping.
Probably. I mean, that's a little like, a little gray area. But.
I saw the word prediction. I lost it. Oh, you're still wondering if she's genuine. Okay, that's true. I mean, at this point, she's done so many nice things, though. Money to help wine. Where'd it go? I'm never going to find it now that I'm looking for it. I'm going to have to scroll back through everything later, which I obviously do to find all the comments for the giveaway entries. Maybe they will become partners. That's a good question.
That would be fun. I would approve of Moira and Parker being partners.
I mean, this is my question for you and everyone else. Do we actually find out why she threw the drink at him? Do we actually know what prompted drink throwing? I mean, we know their marriage is on the rocks and they're having some issues and they do reconcile by the end, but what did he say to get the drink?
I actually don't remember. I actually do not. I don't even think we know.
We actually find out.
Yeah, I don't think so.
We know. Because again, I've officially dedicated a lot of time to this book. I was on the lookout, and I don't think we know what caused the drink throwing. But I'm gonna guess he must have said something pretty bad because she seems nice to just do that for the
Right.
Ooh, okay. Thank you, Colleen. Thank you. Victoria said she thought that Moira will want something from Parker in the future.
Oh.
I mean, granted, apparently their wine is not the best, so maybe she should be maybe she does want to be partners because the wine is so much better. Yeah. Okay. So thank you. If you guys figure that out, or this comes up in book 2,
please tag both of us. We want to know.
I mean, I'm genuinely curious. I mean, because that's not something that happens easily. Okay, we talked about I was going to say, I was like, we already talked about Reed wanting to partner. That was one of my comments. Oh, so this was also one of my lingering questions. So poor Liam and his little in his photos, he's very talented. Do we find out which photo survived, or is this one of the ones that is left kind of open-ended?
I think it's left open-ended. I don't think he said which one it was. Yeah.
Okay, because I'm curious what was the photo that was left. That was the one photo that wasn't, burned, torn apart after his home, the basement was, I mean, this poor guy, he had one of the worst days ever.
Yeah, his passion. Yeah, it's.
I was just curious if anybody, had any guesses or thoughts about what the one photo that he was going to enter into a magazine or a contest. I was kind of curious about that.
I thought I thought it was like a little hint to maybe flesh out the, the suspect. I thought it was like a little maybe they're gonna catch him, but didn't happen.
Ooh, okay. So I'm kind of curious what's going to happen now. I'm looking at these comments. They're just popping up. You felt bad there. You felt badly. Their wine was so bad. He wanted to take a vacation and she didn't want to take the money. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, that's true too. Cause they're taking off the busy season. So putting their marriage before business. Yeah. They were fighting to stage a scene to steal from Parker. You think he stole the recipe? They didn't. Ooh, okay. So Inside the Library with Miss Amanda. That is an amazing title. I love that. They don't play a big part in book 2. Okay, so I'm gonna say hopefully this is at least a 3-book deal. I want them to come back in book 3 because Moira seems adorable.
Yes.
Ooh, you like to think it's a picture of Sage. I'm kind of curious if it's a picture of her. I'm kind of curious. I think it would be either really cute if it's the photo that Parker saw and had that moment of, wow, he's talented, or if it's a photo of Sage, because then that's just, their love is meant to be.
Yes, that would be really cute.
That would be really adorable. All the more reason for them to be like true love. I don't know if you guys can hear that. The dog finally conked out and he's snoring. All of a sudden there was like a big intake and I'm going, oh, how sensitive is this microphone? Oh, so again, poor Liam. Poor Liam. He's in love with Sage, the best friend. And he goes and gets drunk because the love of his life, whose unrequited love, is getting engaged. And Reed calls. Reed is a grown man in his 30s who's friends with Liam, calls the sister Parker. Did he do that because he wanted to call her or because he actually needed help?
I think he wanted to call her. He could have easily dragged, Liam back to his own place, I
made a note of that because I was curious. I'm going, oh, we have to at least draw attention to this with Reed.
I think he wanted to see Parker again, so I think he called her.
I mean, because I'm kind of curious going, he's an adult. He's a friend of this. He knows where this guy lives. I'm guessing he also has a home.
You're guessing he has a home.
I'm guessing he has a home with a roof over his head. Based on the fact that he has a cat, I'm saying he has at least, something, even if there's a couch or a chair or a sleeping bag. I'm just kind of curious, like he calls Parker. That kind of stuck out to me. I'm going, is this your way of, keeping her around? What are we doing?
I think so. And then there was a little moment there, while Liam's passed out on the couch, there's that moment there with Parker and him. I think he wanted to call her. Yeah. I
mean, again, I wasn't sure if that was, a little manipulative or if that was him genuinely trying to be like, oh, I'm looking for opportunities. Again, maybe just because I like Eli so much.
No, I'm on the same page there too. So I'm always questioning every move that Reed makes. I'm like, I don't know, is this genuine? But I think genuinely he just wanted to see her. So,
I mean, again, he's calling her to him. Meanwhile, Eli just happens to run into her at the climbing gym. Meant to be forced interaction.
Yeah. It's very biased takes going on here, but
yeah, clearly I don't have a favorite. Like obviously, I'm totally neutral. He wanted to. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you. Okay, so you agree. Like he wanted to call because him being all nervous about Liam being drunk. I mean, after the age of like 21, that like you just go with it at that point. Like you know what to do. Yep. He went, okay, that's true too. Reed wanted her to know that Liam was upset. That's true. Maybe he did want the emotional component of that. I was just saying, I just thought that was interesting.
You're like, no, suspicious.
I mean, again, maybe because I'm like Eli. I mean, like we should also talk about Eli because we haven't done that yet. What do you think, Eli?
I like he's okay. So you know his backstory. He's a big stoner in high school, and he changed. So he got almost the third strike, and so he kind of changed his path. So he's grown a lot since then, and yeah, so I'm rooting for him.
I mean, I thought it was interesting how not like the justification, like you find out he's not just doing that to be a cool kid or he just wants to be perceived a certain way. Like he had genuine at-home problems that was causing him to have this really bad experience, and he was turning to marijuana. Apparently that was his drug of choice, and then it was legalized, and she made a joke out of that because it was. She's like, are you upset now that marijuana is legal? And I'm like, that's actually a really good point. But yeah, so I like the fact that we find out why he was using it. It wasn't just a matter of, oh, I was in high school, this is what people do. But there was actual motivation. And then he realized, he's not going to let other people impact his life. And he did turn it around. So I'm going, I got to say, I think that's definitely, he made it himself, which I kind of give him credit for. He made his life what it is. And you got that the flip side again, you got to look at the two love interests. Then you got Reed, whose family wanted him to go to an Ivy League school. They wanted him to be a doctor, a lawyer. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to guess that they were very, supportive to some degree, at least, being like, oh, you've got this, you can do this. Mm-hmm. Very different upbringings, just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I also want to know, so this book is so detailed, and we literally find out like every pretty much calorie that they eat. Like, every taste, every meal, every drink. And then the one thing we don't get is the bonding conversation between Parker and Reed when he's driving her to Evergreen to go on a sleuthing mission. And we find out he has 2 siblings. We find out about the parents. Why is that conversation not here? So just throwing that out there. I want to know more about his backstory. Oh, I have a random note. It's Libby Lincoln, which is also a great name.
Yes, Libby. Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on Libby? Because you just got really excited.
Well, I felt like almost she was a throwaway character a little bit, but then she came back again. Like she was there doing her own thing and then left. And then you find out that she's also not a food critic. She's like a blogger. I think that's what it was, right? Yeah, blogger. Yeah. So, but kind of morbid things. But so, I was wondering if people were going to be like interested into her winery, like from like it killed someone, it's like it's a little edgy. So it was fun that she kind of brought that kind of intel in there too. So yeah.
I like the fact that, I loved her description. She just sounded so epic in this character description. She had the 2 dolphin tattoos and she had like this cherry blossom. And I mean, the pink hair, I'm going to eat like, she just sounded so cool. Like I'm just going, I need to see this character. This needs to be an actual Hallmark movie so I can see you. But she was so cute too. Cause she also, I don't know how much the 1 glass of wine costs, but she gave the $20 bill and they make note of the fact that it is way above what the price tag was. So she was also very sweet.
Yeah. It's like the supportive, like, trying all the small businesses, which I kind of like that aspect in the story too. Like doing things local. So supporting local, so that's nice. Yeah.
Oh, so okay, so you guys, I did read the little book blurb, so I knew Reed's parents were coming to town in the second book in the series, and apparently she wants to impress them, and things go badly. So the first chapter is on the website, and they're really mean. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm curious. I just wanted to know more information. Like, I thought the whole. I guess my point was that like we get all this description, all this information, and then when it comes to their backstory with that, like. I want that conversation. I want to know more. But if it's in the book too, maybe that's exactly why we don't get that conversation, because we're going to find out anyway. So I think you just answered my question. Thank you. See, again, I want to read book 2. I was going to say, what is it, Berkeley? I know because I get books. I work really well with, I love Kensington and Source Books. Yeah, so this one is from Berkeley. I was going to say, I don't know if Berkeley's ever sent me any of the ARCs, but I think they had it on NetGalley at one point, but I don't know if I don't think, I didn't look into that because I'm really bad with NetGalley. I always forget to review the books and then my rating goes down. So
yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah.
No. And then sometimes authors will send you the NetGalley link. You're like, oh, I clicked on that before I knew it was NetGalley, and now I'm in a system with this book. So we should probably talk about this. We got Jolly's.
Jolly Diner.
So this was my question. So we actually don't have the Jolly Diner clue until it's referenced in Max's suicide note. And our killer put in the main clue in the suicide note that could tie everything together.
Conveniently.
I was going to say, here's a killer who's supposed to be very intelligent. That was not very intelligent. So we got our main clue, and that was a really sad backstory.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to say, so this happens in cozy mysteries, but I don't think this would happen in real life with the grandmother conveniently being nearby near Jolly's, and she happened to know the whole history, and she didn't just tell them the history, she invited them into her home.
Yeah, she could have been like, no, but she was like, yeah, come on in. I mean, she had Reed for eye candy, so that kind of helped out. I think if it was
Yeah.
If it was just Parker, I don't know if that would happen, but
I mean, I was really there was the line is, I don't know where it went in my notes, but it was like, God bless those dimples, because he pulled out the dimple card and was like smiling and trying to, you know, yeah, she definitely. It was Reed was the reason that woman let them into their home.
Yeah.
I just love that she opens the door. She gives them lemonade. She provides them the entire backstory. Like, I mean, the backstory is important, but I just love how she's just like, here you go. That was just great. I mean, if anyone knocked on my door, I wouldn't open it.
And you're not going to offer them lemonade and tell them a whole bunch of backstory.
No, I mean, I'd be like, Max, defend the apartment. I'd be like, I'm sticking my 5-pound teacup on you. I mean, but Dolly's, that was so her name is Holly, and her dream is to open a restaurant. And her husband, he sells his landscaping business to support her, and he's working at the restaurant. And then our food critic comes, and she actually acknowledges, and we were told this, that she was so nervous she messed up the order. So it wasn't just him being critical. She actually did make a mistake. So I wanted to kind of red flag that and ask what you guys think of this, because apparently she did mess up the order. And so I wasn't really sure how that played into how this went about, because obviously he wrote a bad review and things spiraled from there. But did she deserve the bad review? Like, I mean, I'm kind of curious.
If she, I feel like, part of it, she did mess up on something, but it's also, I don't know, like, it's just, you have the whole cancer thing too on top of it, and it's like, oh.
I mean, it definitely seems as if there was a fixation on, I always want to mispronounce this guy's name, Rascal. I mean, that is a name. He definitely needed his own blog or something with that name. That's epic. But yeah, he wrote a bad review, and apparently the entire town turned against her.
If it was a beloved, welcoming part of town, like, I feel it's hard that the whole town would just be like, never mind, yeah, it is bad or something like that. Everyone's been eating there for how long? Like, I don't know.
I saw somewhere that's why there are more serial killers in the past, because now no one wants to open the door. That is an amazing comment.
Oh.
Reed knows how to use what God gave him. He does. He also... My favorite was when he went to meet up with Parker, and she says, that girl never even gave me a smile, and she's bringing over his, muffin or whatever it was. This one's giving him
the barista.
Yeah.
She goes there all the time, right next door, and like.
And then as soon as he walks in once, and the woman's, looking at him. I mean, yeah, he definitely knows how to work it. The killer should have gone on a killing spree against the town. Oh God, yeah. No more evergreen.
Yeah,
that's actually a good question, Crystal. Yeah, how did you not notice that ring? That's a good question. Unless it was like a chain and it was put under. I don't know. Yeah, I was kind of curious about that too, like how one bad review led to the entire thing coming, crashing down around them.
Like,
especially
everyone's mind would have changed. They're like, oh yeah, this is terrible food or something like it's.
I mean, so I was just kind of curious about that element. There was something about that story where I was going, I felt like there was even more backstory to that. I don't know if this is going to come up, in book 2 at some point, but I kind of felt like we could even parse that out further.
Yeah.
I mean, I also want to know, because apparently, again, me with my little timelines. So that happened 9 years prior to this happening in the book, and so the child would have actually been a teenager, I'm sure. And like, I was trying to play out the timeline. So I'm just kind of curious, because then also he would have been coming up in his blogging career. So would he have had the same influence 9 years ago that he would have had in the present?
True. Yeah, if he was just starting out.
I mean, I feel as if we should probably actually just start talking about the killer, because we've been dancing.
Let's do that now. It's time for the big reveal.
I was going to say, as we're talking about, the backstory, I mean, would you like to take it?
Well, I was blown away, so I'm going to be. I did not pinpoint it. I was so fixated on Jason the whole time. Anita totally slipped through my radar.
I mean, she loved having this woman as her assistant. She wants to give her a raise. We find out how beautiful she is. Her hair is like a halo around her as she walks in. You know, she's full, she's this, she's that. And then we find out we're given like little clues along the way. So when I heard that Max's girlfriend said this, and you know, oh, are you Max's girlfriend? Even though Parker obviously wasn't. I mean, we have these little references to someone younger, and then, you know, Jolly's child. So I mean, I was like 99% sure it was Anita, but the fact that Parker loved her and gave her such rave reviews was keeping me from going, it's you. It's definitely you. So I didn't really know what to do with that, because maybe that was just good writing in the way, because, you know, you don't want to be like, I am 100% certain this is the killer. So, I mean, that definitely kept me from having that, which is, again, what you want with Cozy Mysteries. You want to play the game. So that definitely made me play the game. But I didn't know what to do with that, because I'm going, you really love this person who's a murderer.
Right up until that last scene, I was all, what? And I was all, no.
I mean, because she also came in to help her, and she's dressed up. She's already carrying around the box of wine. She's not just carrying around wine; she's carrying around a box. I mean, this woman was really like going for it. So yeah, okay. The comments are popping up. So you thought it was Jason? Yeah, I was kind of wondering, like, I mean, again, I just didn't like him as a character.
Yeah, so. I think that's why I was all, it's Jason. It has to be Jason.
Oh, okay. So this was something else too. This was, again, why I think I kind of brushed it off a little bit. I mean, once we found out about Max's girlfriend, I was convinced it was her, or at least the 99% of me was convinced. But yeah, I was curious when Eli, our detective in the love triangle, who I'm rooting for, when Eli, our detective, came to question them, and she got nervous. And then she's kind of got a point when she says, well, when you see a cop car, you slow down. I mean, I would, again, back when I was driving, you know, I don't have a car in the city, but like when I was driving, I would do the same thing. Like, I understood her reasoning.
Yeah, same here.
Like, I fell for it.
She tricked us.
I mean, she did, yeah. Yeah, she had the 100% opportunity. She was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
As she's on her way to jail, she was still giving advice. Yeah. I also love how she's got the corkscrew to her, like she wants to kill her. You really were a good boss.
Yeah.
You're literally threatening her life, and you're complimenting her?
Yeah, still the compliments, like.
What? I am sorry. I didn't know what to do with that one. I also thought, we were talking about this before, with her throwing the bottles of wine.
Yes, my favorite scene.
Please tell them your favorite scene, because this is amazing.
So Parker traps Anita, and so Anita starts using some leverage to try to get out of that situation. So she takes the one thing that Parker cares about, is all the wine she's made. So she takes the bottles and starts throwing them down. And Parker has this moment where she's like, should I just let her go? Like, you know, this is important to me. And this is, you know, parental revenue. And like, she keeps on mentioning like the wine flushing out, like the puddle, and like, and Nita's just like commenting as she's throwing the bottles down.
She's listening. She's like, she's hearing them crashing, and she's literally like, pardon me, wanted to open the door for a second.
Yeah, I'm sure she's like money. She's like, that's negative. As each bottle gets like,
okay, I can't sell the inventory. I'm making money with this, and you're like, that was all of my time, and that was all my blood, sweat, and tears. That was my dream crashing.
Like Parker, she must have been, just.
I mean, Anita really just like went for it. I mean, this girl, I also just want to say, like, I love the fact that the murder weapon, or like her potential murder weapon for Parker, was the corkscrew. Like, even the murder weapon was wine related. Like, I thought that was a nice.
It's fitting. Yeah.
I was like, that's a nice tie-in. But yeah, she's keeping the postcard as her bookmark. I mean, again, I was like, is this just you, like the mementos of serial killer? Like, what is this? Like, why is that your bookmark? I mean, the more you think about her and the more you look at what she is doing, she was off her rocker crazy.
Like, she's supposed to be really smart, so I would have been like, she should have destroyed that. That could not have been tied in there, you know, like.
Oh, so I just saw someone, it says something like, poor Max. Max got the bad end of it. That poor guy.
Yeah. She used him. She used him.
That poor Max. Awful frat house. Awful girlfriend. Mm-hmm. You just want him to get to the next fest. This poor guy. Yeah, his friends, I mean, obviously they were not the brightest, you know, bunch. No. But yeah, there was something going on there where he didn't really seem to fit in with his group of friends, and he's got this girlfriend who just manipulated him. And I thought this was kind of sad for him too, right? He writes her a love letter for their 1 month anniversary, and Anita, who's already killed him, I mean, you can't do much worse than that, starts making fun of him. Oh, he wrote me a love letter for a 1 month anniversary.
How convenient. Now I can use this as his suicide note. Copy his handwriting.
Yeah, he's pouring his heart out to her. I mean, I at one point, again, like Pride and Prejudice is one of my all-time favorites. My undergrad thesis was on adaptations, and I went down like this rabbit hole of how men write love letters, and I went down this entire thing, and I even did, you know, an independent study on writing letters. So I love letter writing, and here I am like, oh, that's so sweet and that's so thoughtful, and she's making fun of him, and he's already passed away, but I'm mad on his behalf as I'm reading her making fun of him. Like, that's just I feel so badly for this guy.
Yeah, he was totally used. Poor Max.
I know, and obviously, I mean, justice. Hashtag justice for Max. I saw something. Parker says to the cops, "Save my wine." They thought he had a Canadian girlfriend. That is amazing. No, yeah, it reminds me of, you know, oh, my boyfriend, my girlfriend lives out of town, out of state, and they're like, yeah, sure, she does. I mean, I also want to know about her just including jollies in the note, because that was just. If she's supposed to be a mastermind, that was a really bad mistake. Also, I also kind of, even though I'm on his team, on his romantic team, how come Eli wasn't reading the comments on Graskell's blog, and how come he didn't actually look that up himself?
Yeah.
I mean, did he really need Parker to be like, hey, here's a link between this comment and Jolly's. Look, you know, trace the IP address. I'm kind of curious what Eli was doing with his days when he wasn't thinking about or talking to Parker. How come he didn't make that connection? Or any of his team, really, because apparently there's an entire police force aside from Eli. So like, nobody else noticed that.
This is always a theme, right? That the police aren't doing the work, so you got to sleuth yourself. And
oh, question. Okay, we haven't talked about all the wine metaphors that Parker used throughout the book. Did people like those? What did you think? Did you like wine metaphors?
I did. I especially loved all the wine names. They're all really cute, which makes me happy. Like Snow Day Syrah.
I was going to say, again, I don't really know much about wine, but I love the line when she's talking about imperfections and how that causes the wine to have the taste that it does because it's different and it's imperfect, just like people. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I felt like this book was very literary. I mean, obviously, but like I meant like literary fiction with the. Yeah. I felt like the necklace was sort of, you know, this metaphor, symbolism. I felt like this book had these literary components to it in that regard. And I think the wine metaphors kind of played into that, you know, going down the very literary with the comparisons. It just, again, like that's why I think the writing is just like so top notch with this. I loved it.
I loved that.
You thought it was okay. The husband thinks it's cheesy. Well, what is it? There's a line in one movie. Oh my gosh. It was in The Holiday with Kate Winslet. She's like, I need more corny in my life. I'm like, yes, we do. Thank you, Kate Winslet.
I mean, this is why we come to Cozies. We come for this. Like, you know, it's.
I mean, I thought it was I think they were intelligent, like doing the imperfections. I mean,
that's the last paragraph, right? Yeah. I
liked that. I mean, I also thought it was really, really cute. The cat, Zinfandel. I'm saying that correctly. So
yeah, you are.
This cat, the grapes of unknown origin, the cat from the shelter that they didn't know where she came from. I think that's really cute.
It's really cute.
I liked that. I mean, call it cheesy. I'm there for it. They even ordered cheesy coladas at one point, so cheesy was. What was this? Cheese goes with wine.
Yep, it does. It pairs well.
Maybe she should serve cheese with crackers. I just want to know about these palate cleansing crackers. Like, is this like what brand of crackers is this? I'm curious because I didn't know this was a thing.
I think they're probably just like a zero flavor kind of. Yeah.
I'm just curious because I didn't know that that was an actual existence thing.
I was slightly offended though when she poured out the wine like from Moira's winery. Because I don't know, I know like they don't want you to like drink it all, I guess, but also like I was like, oh, don't you just take a sip and then you're just pouring it out like, oh, like. Oh.
I mean, so what did you guys? Yeah, the entire Murphy. I have questions about them. That's why when you said that they didn't play a big part in book 2, I'm thinking they got to come back for book 3 with my character. But maybe this is like a Hannah Swanson thing where they're going to keep going with this series until book 20. And I'm just saying one of these books is going to be his story. I don't know which one, but it will be. But I mean, their wine was bad, and so apparently Sage is unlike Parker, doesn't know the difference between wine. She's like me, be like, that one's red, that one's white. Like, so did they just their clientele not know? I mean, why do they have all these bad wines except for one great one?
The one that Parker likes. Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of curious. Like, yeah, you might be, tossing away their wine, but that's still their wine.
I mean, also, I want to know how big it is because are they right there seeing you toss it away? I would be sad. I don't know.
Yeah,
I would politely sip until it's done and then be like, okay, like.
Well, I mean, this is the other thing about wine, though, too. When you have this isn't like you can slip things under your napkin.
No, it's liquid. Even if you try to pour it down, it's going to make a sound as you're splashing on the ground.
I don't know about anyone else, but like you would try and like put the broccoli underneath the broccoli, so like it might look a little higher, but like it's hidden. I mean, you can't do that with wine. So I'm just saying. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I saw all the comments. I'm trying to like scroll down to see if there's something we've missed or see something pop out. I mean, I have to admit, I am glad that Sage does not end up with Jason. So I am happy about that. I also am fingers crossed hoping that, at the end when Sage is talking to Liam, there's, potential for things to come. And then, so we talked about Eli. I'm just scrolling through. I was like, if there's something you guys want to, if there's something you want to add, please do, as I'm just looking through.
I mean, you covered everything. I love Zen, though. Let's talk about the cat again. So precious. Yeah, the little gray cat.
It's so cute. So I mean, some cozies, the cat is, a full-on character. Like, they're always around. We read Alison Brooks ones there where like the cat is the library cat, like they're in the narrative. And so this one to me was very relatable because I've never actually been to a library with a cat walking around. So, I like the fact that this is an actual pet, this is her cat. And again, this kind of goes back to talking about, these literary elements and every single character and, everybody had this backstory and even the cat had a backstory. I mean, even the little quirk of being afraid that she's going to forget to feed her. That broke my heart. You're nodding like, yeah, it broke mine too.
Well, I love it.
That was so. I mean, I know it was she got her from the shelter, but that was so sad. This cat's afraid she's going to forget to feed her.
Well, that and then the cat Zen could tell that Liam needed someone there, so she curled up next to Liam, like for support. Like it was so sweet.
I mean, it was again like the little details with the writing. Apparently, they were snoring in unison.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, I'm looking at the little cat. She was so cute, and just regards to the character, like the one thing that did catch my attention, and this is how I knew this was how I knew this book was going to end up with her. She was going to end up with Reed at the end of this book. I knew this when the cat went up to Reed and was suspicious of Eli. That was how I knew. That was the moment I knew. Poor Eli.
Zen knew.
I'm like the cat. Like that was how I called it, because in cozy mystery, if the cat doesn't like you, you're either the murderer or you're gonna get killed off in a book. Like something's gonna happen.
Either one. There's no between. You're not safe.
If the cat doesn't like you, you're either the killer or you're gonna get killed. Like something's gonna happen to you. The animal has to like you in cozies, and you can also never kill the animal. That's the other one. You can never hurt the cat.
I don't want animals in danger. Yeah, no.
I just saw there was a comment and I just lost it. It was where did it go? It said that the lady was acting. It said the lady who opened the door was acting like Edward in Twilight. Like everyone just gravitates towards Reed. I saw the Twilight reference and I just lost it as I'm scrolling. That's funny though, because all of the girls, even Liam calls out. Even he's like, why do all the girls fall over this guy? I mean, but apparently they were falling over Eli a little bit too, because at the rock climbing gym, they were eyeballing him a little bit. Although Zin didn't. Ooh, this is. I just saw Tracy's comment. You thought that she might be the new assistant. So that would be interesting if Libby did become the assistant. I just saw that. I'm like, that's actually really good. I'm like, I don't know if you need ideas for the next book in a series, but that's a good one.
Yeah, I'm wondering who follows in the assistant, if she's going to have one. Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine trying to figure out who to hire next? I mean, I'd be like, can I have your entire like backstory?
we need FBI to do a background check on.
I mean, because I thought that she knew enough about her, because she's going, oh, she cited dual interests, but that's actually not the major. So like, she didn't even know what this girl's major was.
No. Yeah. Anita was playing. She was a theater major. She was playing a role.
Well, I like the line, give this chick an Oscar. Like, she nailed it. Oh, I found the line. Mika Francis, you wrote this. The way the woman acted around Reed was like Edward in Twilight. Yep, that was the line. And then Grandma McGuffin thought Reed was fine.
She was all about that.
I wanted to make sure I found who said that, because it was funny when I caught my eye. I was going, oh gosh. Yeah, I thought that was funny. So Nita was a surprise. Yeah, I mean, it looks like you guys really liked the book, which makes me so happy. I just love that. I love that you guys love the book, and because again, this is meant to be fun and enjoyable, and so I love when people love the books that we're reading, because obviously you guys choose them and you guys have amazing taste.
I'm just happy you got all these books a second chance, so that makes me really happy that so you brought them all back, and so
well, I'm so happy. Like, this is the one we're kicking out 2021 with. Like, this just set the standard like really high.
Yeah.
Like really high standards now. I mean, I also need like the second book in this series.
Yeah,
I mean,
same.
So this was one of my like big things sometimes with books, where I'm going, I want the series to be done, because if I have to wait between each book, I'm gonna go insane. But like, I'm already in it. So I wait now for book 2. Like I got it. Yeah, so I'm gonna be waiting for each one now, but I am here for this book. And I don't know about her, like what her backlist is, but she can write.
Yeah, she can. She can definitely write.
I mean, I think that's one of the things when you try and write things yourself, and so you pick up like, wow, every character does have dimensions and a backstory. So you're going, how did you do this? Did you sit down and write this out? I mean, this book was very well, organized. I mean, I don't know if she did outlines or character bios or what, but it worked.
Yeah.
This is your first cozy. Oh my gosh.
Yay.
Oh, that makes me so happy. Oh, see, your first cozy. I'm hoping that this was a great cozy to introduce you to the genre. I mean, I think it is. I'm just going to say
I think it is.
This is also a good book to recommend to people who are not necessarily cozy mystery inclined, I guess, too, because it could probably convert them.
I think, yeah.
No, I know, that makes me so happy. So I actually have them behind me, and I'm curious. Okay, I'm like, the dog's not behind the chair. So the books that we're reading next are actually right here. And I was so happy. So I already had one of them, but I didn't have the physical copies of the other ones. So next month, we're going to be talking about Crime and Punctuation, which is an amazing book title. And then the second one in the series. So this one is from Kensington, and Kensington is amazing. I love the two girls who work at Kensington. I have it on the bookcase and I haven't read it yet. I need to, but like they sent to me. And so I'm pretty sure I've taken Bookstagram photos of like this book cover, and the title is amazing. So the second one is called A Fatal Fiction. So just based on the titles alone, I'm here for the puns. I'm here for the puns. So this is next month. And then the month after that, this one, okay, y'all, this has been on my to be read list for so long. And I was determined. I was waiting to read this with everybody because I knew at some point it was going to win. I knew it. So this one finally won. It's finally, coming back around. So Murder in G Major. So this is the cover of this one. Yeah. So we have February, March. And then our April one is Christy Davis with Color Me Murder.
Color Me Murder.
So we still have 3 more books on the to be read list. So you guys have plenty of time to add them to your next book haul, add them to your Goodreads to be read list. So yeah, I also want to read the next book in this series. So probably gonna
same here.
I know the covers are great. Kensington is awesome. They are. Like, I just love Kensington. Ooh, you've already read Murder in G Major. Ooh, and she says it's good. So Stephanie approves. # Stephanie approves. This was her first book.
This was her first book.
This is a debut book.
Wow.
I think you just I'm blown away by that. That's amazing.
I think both of our reactions we were just like, what?
I'm kind of bug eyes over here. I mean, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say she wrote some books before she wrote this one. Like, she definitely did some pre-writing and learned her craft, because this was A+.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So maybe Zin will warm up to Eli in the next one. Okay, so she wrote short stories. Okay, we're learning about Kate's background. She's also, again, like, if you guys have any other thoughts, comments, like, please type them in now, because Kate, she actually reached out to me. So I get very, like, I never want to put authors on the spot. So I always, with the giveaways that are organized, people volunteer. I work with Clinton a lot. And so she actually reached out to me and said, like, hey, thank you for reading, this book. I'm so honored that it was selected. If you're interested in doing a giveaway, like, please let me know. I'd love to do something. So the book being offered tonight is totally because she is just a generous, sweet human being. So
I love that.
Someone from the comments is going to win the second book signed by her. She said she was going to sign it, send it out. I mean, that's just very sweet, because sometimes people are like, oh, do you want me to send it to you? Do you want me to do this? Like, the fact that she just offered and was, saying how appreciative she was that we were reading this. So I'm like, I don't even know her, but I like her.
I love it. I love it.
Like, you can just tell I'm just very, genuine and sweet. So I thought that was really her to just message and say, I would love to offer something to the book club and the readers who are enjoying the story. So I'm going to give her a little shout out and credit for that one. Oh, you guys, I just looked down and you guys are already giving her credit. Yeah, she just came across as, like, really sweet with the message, because sometimes I don't know, like, people won't offer, or, like, I don't expect them to offer, but sometimes, like, I don't know. I'm not going to get into that, but sometimes people will just kind of be like, expect things or whatever, and the way she was just so genuine and, like, offering, like, I just thought that was I was appreciative of that. So I'm sure someone's gonna be very appreciative, happy with the next book in the series from her. I know. I feel like the cozy authors, the cozy community is so sweet, because, again, like, this is a community where people just want to read stories and read uplift stories. So I think it's very easy to find kind people here. So I'm very fortunate. Oh. I know. I'm so happy that, we get to interact with them and chat with them. I mean, I know Jackie's here. She was one of our 12 Days of Cozy's authors, doing the cozy chats. And I love that. I really do. I'm appreciative of, like, the community we're a part of, our cozy crew.
Cozy Crew. I love the Cozy Crew. Everyone's so sweet. Yeah.
I mean, I was going to say, I had my little note. So, mention the books. Oh, so next month, I just want to mention, again, she offered the giveaway. She messaged me. Ellen Byron, she's actually going to be doing, she actually offered 3 books. So, the next series, so we're trying to figure out how to do this best, whether it's like one for Twitter, one for Instagram, one for YouTube, all 3 for the YouTube live stream. But she offered 3 books. So next month, the giveaway is by Ellen Byron. And I just want to make sure I reference that because I knew I had another note in here.
That is awesome. That is so awesome. That's so kind of her, too.
I knew I had another note in here. I knew it. And then I think I mentioned this over on Instagram. So I think I told you guys all my notes. So if there's any other thoughts or questions, please comment them now because we actually, I'm pretty sure, went through all my notes and there were a lot of them. So
yeah. I saw those pages, all those pages. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I also write pretty big and I'll underline and circle stuff. So, and this isn't a full notebook. This was me ripping stuff out along the way. So even if it started out as 100 pages, it's not 100 now. I was like, I don't know what it's at, but it's not 100. But I really enjoyed the book. So I'm hoping the next one is just, on par and like we're just in for another like read.
These were all like the second ones or like they were close to winning. So I feel like everyone really wanted to read all of these. So I'm excited that you brought them all.
I think this was the one that tied and had a vote off. And it lost the vote off by like point something. Like it didn't even lose by like a percentage. It lost like a 0.5 or something in the vote off. So this book had been on the list for a while. And then I couldn't believe it because these were all the books that came in like super close, missed off by like a single percentage of winning. Yeah. And so when the poll came back around, again, I'd been doing I'd been playing with the idea of doing a second chance poll. All of the books were in the lead at one point. Every single one of them. So if you guys didn't know, like that's why we have the next 4 books planned. Because usually every month I'll give you guys like a heads up and be like going, okay, what books are you interested in reading? Let me know. And then I always look up to see where they're available because I don't tell you guys all the back end stuff, but I always look up to see, okay, are they available across platforms? Will people be able to read them in different devices? Because I know people have different, methods of reading. And some people say they can't do this because of, eye strain. Other people can't do other things because I just always try and pay attention to the different mediums and platforms that things are offered on. So I always try and make sure like they're available in different, different ways for people who don't want to necessarily buy Amazon or, I want things to be available in the library too. So I always look into things. And so once I have the titles, I do all the back end stuff. And I didn't have to ask you guys this month because you guys already wanted to read these 4 books. So you guys don't have to, if you have any book recommendations or anything catches your eye, like please keep them in your back pocket because we're going to need them after April. But until April, we got books on the list. So usually by now I'd be telling me like, please send me your recommendations for books you want to read. But you guys already got it. No, I know you guys are so adorable. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. You guys are just the best. Do you have any final thoughts? You want us to talk about the book or anything else?
I can't wait to read the second book. So I'm going to request it. I think hopefully my library has it. So I'm going to request it and I can't wait to read it. So this is a great start to a series. So, yeah.
I'm very impressed. I'm glad you told me short stories. And I like even if this is just her first book, that is amazing. Like seriously, all the credit to Lansing. I am very impressed. So
me too.
I can't wait to read the next book in the series. And it wasn't until I was looking at the cover when I saw that Leslie Budowitz gave it the kind of write-off of like, this is my little book quote, like, please read this book. So Leslie's a great author. I am now going to be auto-buying all of Kate's books. So I am a very happy reader. As I'm losing my
My mom loves wine, so I'm hopefully going to get her into cozies too. So hopefully she enjoys this too. So yeah, that's going to go to her.
That is I like reading cozies.
I've been trying to get her to read cozies, but she's read a couple here and there, but I hope this is like the takeoff that she's like, yeah, so we can share,
Converter. This is amazing too because I just saw I don't want to mispronounce your last name, Goris. I hope I'm saying it correctly. You're saying this is your first book club. You guys are so sweet. Like I'm so happy you found the book club, and if you can convert your mom, like I love that this is the book that got you into cozies. That makes me so happy. And as I'm like saying that, I'm trying to like not cry. I mean, I really do want you to enjoy the club, and I want you to enjoy the books and everything else. I mentioned this over on Instagram, but I might as well just bring it up here too, just in case. In case you missed a little announcement over there. So I was thinking about doing a couple different things so that instead of one giveaway a month with, the one big book during the live stream. So I had bookmarks made. So I was going to offer to do a couple smaller giveaways. I was going to offer to do just a couple smaller ones, and I wanted to know if you guys were interested in that, so that everyone, there'd be one winner, and I would, 2 of the book club bookmarks. I had a couple made up, so I would send an additional one. And I got a critic as a gift for myself. I was so happy. And so I made some vinyls that say Sleuther. So so I don't know, I was going to say it's all shiny. So hopefully you can still see. I made all of them different fonts, and they're different colors.
Yeah.
I was thinking of doing that. So, someone on Instagram and then someone on Twitter would win the 2 bookmarks. And then I'd probably, again, I can't do one. Me being me, I always I'll give you 2 bookmarks. You do this. So I was going to do the 2 book club bookmarks, and then probably 2 Sleuther stickers or Sleuther vinyl stickers. You always have to say vinyl in the transfer. So I was just going to do that. So I wanted to make sure you guys are interested in that, if you liked that idea, because I know it's a little bit smaller than usual, but I still want to do something just to offer.
I love this idea, so I'm just going to speak for everyone that those bookmarks are adorable. I love the hashtag Sleuther, and those little vinyl stickers are so cute. You showed all the different kind of fonts you had. It's so cute. They're adorable.
Thank you. Okay, because I wasn't sure. It was just I didn't want it to be is it too small? But I wanted to make sure that, it was something you guys would like, because I don't want it to be I'm doing a giveaway, I just want to make sure, why I'm doing this or why I kind of thought of it. Because just something, because I always want people to feel included, involved. And I know that more people have been joining. So someone asked about getting bookmarks, and because I'm not going to sell them. Even the Society 6 and Zazzle pages, they're not businesses. I don't make royalties or percentages. It's just because, when I'm a part of something, I want to be able to put on my sweatshirt and feel involved.
Yeah.
And someone wanted to buy the bookmarks. I'm like, I'm not going to charge you money. I'll do the giveaway. So hopefully, people can receive bookmarks just because they want them. So that's why I want to offer, because when someone asks to buy it, I'm going, I'm not going to charge you. As soon as I saw that comment, okay, I'm going to have to find ways to get the bookmarks out to people in a very organic sense, so you don't feel like you buy anything. So I just wanted to make sure that I kind of told you guys, if you see that pop up, that's why. And so if you want bookmarks, you're going to get a very good chance. So I'll probably try and do in between live streams. So probably, every 2 weeks. So you'll do a small one for Instagram and Twitter, and then the main one being the live stream book club giveaway.
Yes.
So. Yes. Oh, you guys. Okay. So now I'm looking at the comments. Oh, okay. So I'm going to mention that then. That makes sense. I'm getting emotional. I'm one of those people where, I like to feel included. I also wanted to make all the little vinyls a little different, so not everyone's receiving the same thing. So even if you win something, it will be a little bit different, so you'll get something unique. So different fonts, different sizes, different colors. So yeah, you'll see that. I kind of get a little I want you to think I'm just doing giveaways. I'm I want you guys to, I get very self-conscious sometimes. I don't want to come across hey, giveaways, but yeah. I just saw the comments pop up. Thank you guys so much for joining. I am so honored that you spent your Tuesday night with us, and I'm so appreciative of Ben being the amazing human being that he is. Seriously, all the applause and love for him for joining me tonight. This book, I'm pretty sure it came on my radar because of you, and then because you mentioned it, I think I retweeted it, and other people said they wanted it on the poll. So I'm pretty sure we can trace this book being our book of the month back to Ben. So all the applause, and since everyone seems to love this book, we love it because of you. So.
I saw winery, and I was like, yep, I'm sold. I want to read this.
I'm just very appreciative of you taking the time to chat with me. If you guys aren't following him, please do, because he'll post such cute little comments, and I love his tweets and Instagram posts. So if you want more cozy content, please follow Ben. And I wanted to just make sure that you guys knew that, because a lot of people are subscribed to the newsletter, but I don't think you know that there's the hidden page that I made, because I can see sometimes what gets clicked on. MailChimp is so strange. I always feel like I don't want to know analytics because I'm like, this is so big brother. But you can find out things. So if you're subscribed to the newsletter, please use the hidden link. It's not a hidden link. It's just not made public. Like you can't Google it. But if you're part of the newsletter family, you can just, it's in the email, so you just click on it, and there's all sorts of cozy content for you, from adult learning book pages, for cozy companions, because we all need our little sleuthing friend. Mm-hmm. There's just a lot of extra cozy stuff there that I want you to be able to enjoy, and I want you to know, make sure you know you have access to it, basically. So just a little shout out, little reminder with that. So that was one of my notes too, because I mean, I love the bingo boards, again, spreading all the coziness. Like, please take advantage of it because it's there. I just want to make sure you knew that, because the reason why I'm mentioning this is because someone said, oh my gosh, I just found this. I didn't know you had a freebie page. I didn't know there was a hidden newsletter page. And I'm going, maybe I should make sure that people know these things exist. So that's my little reminder to enjoy the content, because it is there. And I want you to have fun with cozies. So
it's all the love. You can just tell all the love you're pouring into this, Angela. It's just like everything, every little thing that you do is just like full of love, and I just love it so much. Like,
well, I'm so appreciative of everyone joining the book club, and I feel like it's the best responsibility, or the best thing in the world to be able to organize this and see people enjoy things. So just like all the more motivation to keep thinking of things for people to enjoy, thinking of the coloring book pages, or thinking of like different things to do. I mean, I love it. So it's just my absolute pleasure and honor to be able to be a part of this. So thank you guys for joining us. I really do appreciate it. As I get like emotional, but thank you guys so much. Thank you to Ben, and please, stay safe, stay healthy, and I hope you have fun reading and sleuthing, and just all the love to you. So any other comments?
That's pretty much what I was going to say. So
okay. Have a nice night, everybody.
Good night, everyone. You guys take care.